Hello, thank you for joining us. We're going to begin the presentation in just a moment or so. We're just going to give everyone a chance to log in case, like me, your computer is about a minute slower than the real time. And again, while we're waiting for everyone to come in, I just want to express appreciation. We're glad that you could all make some time for us. We know everyone's busy these days. We're going to absolutely try to make the best use of your time. Again, we're just going to give everybody another minute or so to log in. All right, let's begin the broadcast. Thank you for joining us. This is Miro Consulting's webinar on Oracle Java changes for 2023. I'm your presenter. My name is Sean Donahue. I'm the VP of Marketing. This presentation was largely prepared by Tim Hegedus, our Director of Technical Services and Java Resident Expert. If you have any questions, please feel free to use the question box. We'll answer them at the end. Quick note about who Miro is. We're the leading global provider of software asset management and subscription management services for Oracle, Microsoft, IBM, Amazon Web Services, and Salesforce. We specialize in license management, audit advisory, negotiation tactics, support management, and cloud services, which of course includes Java. Our mission is to help our clients maximize their ROI on their software license investments, stay in compliance, and negotiate successful contracts and audit settlements. And if that wasn't totally clear, we will also save you money on any one of these providers. If you contact us, we have a lot of great systems, tools, tricks in place to lower your total costs, even if you are in the middle of a contract. So give us a call. All right, so what are we talking about here? Well, right now we're going to go over the changes for 2023. So Java has been a very, very fast-moving set of rules here from Oracle. Things keep changing quickly. So we're going to go over what Oracle's previously announced going back to 2019 and what they originally said about Java being for a fee as opposed to free as it had always been before. We're going to talk about the different agreements. We're going to talk about the different situations with upgrading Java and what you should take away from this. And before we get started, if you're one of those people who's like me, who will sit there and try to screenshot or record every single slide you see here and all the information, please do not try to, it's not worth it. Don't bother. We're going to send you everything afterward. We're going to send you a link to the video. We're going to send you a PDF, which has all of the information and all the charts and everything you're going to see here. So by all means, just sit back, relax, and don't try to kill yourself trying to copy down everything here. It's unnecessary. We will hook you up. All right, so what's new? What's new is that in January 2023, Oracle announced a new way by which it was going to do their Java subscriptions, a new metric. Previously, it had been number of processors or computers, things that use Java. And now it is going to be for all employees. That is correct. You heard that right. Oracle has come out and said that all of your employees require a Java license, even if they don't use it, even if they don't use a computer, and even if they're not really your employees. So as you can see, how does Oracle define an employee? Your full-time, your part-time, your temporary, all your agents, your contractors, your outsourcers, your consultants. At the moment, we don't think your dog needs a Java license, but we're still looking into that. Just joke, no, your dog doesn't need a license yet. But Oracle is very inclusive. That is the point. So if you are thinking, you're looking at a list of employees and you're thinking, should I include? Yes, you should. You should include those people. Oracle will consider them your employees. What was it before this? Well, before it was by processor. So it was how many processors you had that needed Java, as well as an NUP, which stands for Named User Plus. That is going away in 7 days. And as of March 1st, it will be a per employee metric. You can see the costs and the breakdown on the right there of how much it will cost per subscription, I'm going to mess this up. I think it's per month. It might be per year, but I think it's per month. I will make sure. Somebody on my Miro team, please tell me, and I'll get back to that if this is the per year or per month pricing, and I will correct and give you that information in 2 seconds. And like I said, it's only available till March 1st. And quite frankly, Oracle expects negotiation. So if you come back to Oracle and say, hey, 80% of my employees don't use a computer, you can't possibly expect me to, license them all, talk to Oracle. We're not making any promises on what they will or will not do, but they will be flexible in many scenarios if you are forthcoming. We're not saying talk to them alone. We're not saying talk to them without looking to see what you have. We're just saying that it's expected is the best way to put it. All right, well, what if you already bought it? What if you went out there and you were getting ahead of the game and you purchased it under the old metrics? We have a number of clients who did that. Good news, you don't need to purchase any additional licensing. Your existing Java subscriptions purchased under the old metric will be honored. You do not need to license per employee. You do not need to worry about it. You should, we're going to say should be able to renew under the old metric. We have always found that to be the case, or nearly always found that to be the case. The exact wording that Oracle gave was existing licenses do not need to do anything related to this new product offering. If you want to call us up and give us more money, you are free to do so. But if you already purchased, you are fine. And if you're wondering, is that something many organizations have done? We work with plenty that have. I don't know what the world has done, but just so you know. So let's talk about, how does Oracle even know you're using Java? Well, Java phones home. It will call the Oracle mothership, and it will at the very least give it the IP address of where it is. Now, that could be enough to identify your organization, probably not per person, but Java will call home and it will tell Oracle that it is installed, running, and whether or not it is licensable. So maybe they can identify you, maybe they can't, but keep in mind, it will try. It will also not only just do that when you download it, it will do that all by itself. Part of its phone call home feature is it calls home to see if there are any updates. And if you haven't disabled that, it will very happily update itself from a free version to a paid version, all without asking you, without telling you. So that is something you really want to be concerned with if you don't know. And if you want to learn how to do that, please contact us after the webinar. It is one of those things that we do not recommend you just Google it and wing it. Talk to the experts. We will help you make sure that you've done it for real, because the last thing you want to do is think you've turned it off and not actually turned it off. That would be bad. So let's keep going. All right. So what's the short version of history? April 2019, Oracle said Java is now licensable. There are previous versions of Java out there in the wild. For our purposes, we're only going to go back to Java 5. If you've got anything earlier than that, I don't know what you'd even run that on. So modern times, the earliest you might possibly have is 5 and 6. They are sustaining support only. You might have 7 and 8, which are in Premier or extended support. And you might have a version called Java Web Start, which is Java 8. It's a sunset release until the end of the extended support one, which terminates December 2030. Now, this isn't really good. This is a part where I'm excited to tell you guys this, because we've seen so much misinformation. Come on, next slide. We've seen so much misinformation go back on this topic. So many people out there are saying Java 5 through 8 is licensable. You need a license for Java 5 through 8. And the answer is maybe. You maybe need a license. And you can tell by which update or release version. It's an update, they call it a release. So depending on which release. So let's just look at 8 since it's the most common. If you have 8, U stands for update, I believe, 202 or earlier, it's free. If you have 211 or later, it's paid. And if you're wondering about the numbers in the middle, they were never released. So it goes right from 202 to 211. So there you go. They are not actually always a paid version. They will certainly update themselves to be, but if you have a version that only goes up to these release numbers, you do not need a license for that. So that is some bit of misinformation. Again, we'll send you this afterward. Don't try writing all these numbers down. It's not needed. So let's talk about what we went into. What's long-term support versus non-long-term support. We mentioned that because Oracle classifies things. So what it really means is long-term support. Long-term support is 5 years and then an extra 3. So mainstream for 5, extended for 3. Non-long-term support, could call it short-term support, but that's what they call is only for 6 months. So it's meant to be updated every time a new version comes out. So the idea here is if you've got a version that's long-term, you can leave it for a while. If you want to be on the cutting edge of the latest releases every single time, you may end up with a non-long-term support. We're going to show you which are which. Again, we will send this to you. So here you can see we went all the way back to 7 because that's really about as far back as it's relevant. You can see version 7 is no longer in extended support, but some people, of course, still have it. So in red, we highlighted the long-term support versions. So right now it is either 11 or 17. Now you can note that 11 is not free, but 17 is. So if you're in this webinar and the main thing you were hunting down is what is the version of Java I need to have installed, that is the free version, it's 17. Now, if you originally, when we put this presentation together, we had a yes under free. We have since updated that to a 4 now. We have heard some updates from Oracle. 17 may not be free in the future. They could change it at any time. But right now, they're going to let it go as free. So we're going to say 4 now. 21, we originally were told would be free, but we're going to go with them maybe. The rules are changing fast. So by the time September of this year rolls around, we don't want to definitely tell you, bet the company on it. Maybe free, probably, but we don't want to say certain. My slides are a little slow here. Forgive me. There we go. Okay, real quick. I'll just breeze through this because it's not a huge big deal. What's the difference between extended support and not covered? So if you're what's covered in extended support is you still get bug fixes, you still get security, you still get the upgrade tools, service requests, the works. You can see it here. This could be very important because if your plan was to use a non-free version that has no longer being extended support, you're not getting bug fixes, you're not getting security fixes, and you want security fixes for Java. It is everywhere. It is embedded in many different programs. It's not something that if you're the IT department, it's not something your IT department will want to be a vulnerable piece of software in your computer. So we highly recommend you stay with the versions that are covered. So what if you don't want to use Oracle's Java? Well, lots of people don't. In fact, some of these were announced literally the day that Oracle announced Java would be paid. So you've got a lot of options. You've got a Microsoft version, you can see here. You've got an AWS version. You got 2 Azure versions. I don't know the difference between them. You've got an IBM version, a Red Hat version, which is now, I guess, an IBM version again. And you've got the OpenJDK developer kit, the open source one that is collaboration. But the big takeaway here is that normally in situations, you see a lot of companies get together and crowdsource their own free version of something. In this case, they decided to all do it on their own. But the takeaway I want you to take from this is if your plan is, okay, I'm just going to get off this webinar and go swap out every single Java installation at my organization, you may not be able to for a couple reasons. You may not be able to for technical reasons. You may not be able to for security reasons. Your IT team may say, no, we don't like this. And we have seen financial rules. We've seen it where there were financial regulations for certain types of companies that did not allow them to use open source software in this type of thing. So we would say before you plan technically on migrating, get your stakeholders together, get some experts in the room, and see what your real options are before you head down a path that you may not be able to get to the end of. Right, Bender? All right. So real quickly, there are a couple different, I put this up not because it's super important. This is a little bit in the weeds, but what I want to point out for you here is if you're looking at your license agreement, or you went out and found a license agreement, make sure you're looking at the right one. So they've changed. So different versions of Java are under different licenses. And if you have one version of Java and you are looking at the license agreement that does not apply to that version of Java, you may walk away with very, very incorrect assumptions. We don't want to see you do that. So we want to make sure that you are aware that when you go look at which Java you are trying to move to or should move to or have, make sure you are looking at the right agreement. Okay, let's move on here. Let me quickly check my notes here. Did anybody per month? Okay, so that was those numbers I was citing earlier on the costs of Java. Those were the per month numbers. I can tell you right now, we have found many of our clients, this is millions of dollars is what that it amounts to at the end of the day. Depending on how many employees you have, obviously it makes a big difference, but it easily gets into the millions of dollars per year. So real quick, let's talk about Java audits. Yeah, they're real. They exist. They exist on their own, and they exist as part of a general Oracle audit. Most of you here are probably aware. Major software vendors like Oracle, Microsoft, IBM will audit their clients to make sure that they are not using more of a product than they're allowed to, a product they're not allowed to at all, a product that's unlicensed. They're using features of a product that they're licensed for, but they're using features that they're not licensed for. There's all kinds of ways to fail a software audit. Well, Java is now a new one. Like I said, they can be part of all by themselves, or they can be part of a general Oracle audit, or as we've seen, if an organization basically tells Oracle that, you know, we're not going to work with you, we're not going to talk to you, your Java audit will probably turn into a everything audit. I have it crossed out here. It's sales inquiry. It might be a sales inquiry, so it's hard to tell. Is it your sales guy just kind of rattling the saber about Java and saying, hey, you know, this could happen? Or is it really a full-fledged Java audit? Well, one of the ways you can tell is the global license advisory services at Oracle involved. They are the new LMS, which was the license management services team. Technically, those are the guys who conduct the actual audit at Oracle. So if you get a letter and these people are signatories at GLASS, you are being audited. We hope you have prepared. If not, and if you haven't gotten one, we suggest you prepare as soon as you can. So the methods changed. You can see I've crossed out here. The old method was they would ask you for a count of your numbers of processors and workstations. And a lot of organizations found that to be actually a difficult answer to give in a very exact manner. Now, some organizations are very much on the ball and they know exactly how many of everything they have, and some don't. And Oracle got tired of hearing, we don't know, we'll get back to you. So they've changed it. And they have now decided, let's make it easy, and we'll just count your employees. And hopefully you know how many of those you have. So here you can see that this is the new method. Like we said, they're doing it by employee. And I'm being informed that it is typically a sales inquiry doesn't include an advance letter. So if you got the letter, you've probably got the audit. Thank you, team. So, you know, you've got to look at risks here. You have an upgrade risk, and we'll talk about this in a minute here. You know, can your users update their own Javas? It would be bad if they could, because they might update themselves right out of compliance. And we really recommend here, if this happens to you, do not even start negotiating. Get expert help, get independent help, call someone, yes, like Mira, call someone like us and get some expertise in there, someone who can help you, somebody who's been through this many times before, who knows how the systems work and can steer you in the right direction and make sure that you have a good outcome. So let's talk about this. This is one of the biggest gotchas. So if you weren't paying attention and you were doing other work, this is the point where you really want to pay attention to this webinar. These are the different contracts that are on offer, but they are not what they seem. So if you sign for 5 years, great, Oracle will give you a discount. You will get no additional penalty terms. But if you sign for a 3 or a 1 year, your 1 and 3 years start back at 2019. So a lot of people we've talked to said, okay, I'll just get a 1-year contract, get in compliance, and I'll spend that 1 year removing Java from my system. Well, that 1-year contract is actually a 5-year contract with 4 of the years retroactive. So to get 1 year of compliance moving forward, you have to sign and pay for, what's it, 4 years at this point? So it's 4 years at this point, going back to April of 2019. So keep that in mind. If 3 years is right in the middle, you're still paying, you might get a discount on your back usage fees, but you're still paying back usage fees. So that is one of the biggest gotchas that we find people are unaware of. We find that other organizations like ours are even unaware of. We tend to get the most up-to-date information. So this is the big gotcha. We want you to make sure you understand this and you account for this in your planning. All right, so a couple of quick conclusions. If you're asking whether the version you have of Java is licensable, you really best assume it is. There are long-term and non-long-term versions. Know which one you've got if you are planning to install it. If you are looking at an alternative, there are many alternatives, but you may not be able to use all of them or any of them. This is the time to find out. Figure out which versions of Java you have. It's important. If Oracle sends you a proposal for purchasing Java, look at it carefully and understand what it means in terms of the compliance, the costs, the compatibility. These are all things that, again, we highly recommend. Get some experts in there to help you. Don't go it alone. So what do you do now? That's the big question we have a lot of people ask us. What do I do now? What should I do? This is overwhelming. Indecision, sometimes analysis paralysis. What do we do now? Well, one option that a lot of other organizations have said is do nothing. Just wait for Oracle to come to you. We really don't recommend that. They will come knocking on your door sooner or later. And the longer it goes, the more caught out you are going to be. So we really recommend don't do nothing. At the very least, be aware. Find out what Java you have and where you have it. And look more than just the obvious places. Yeah, it's definitely going to be in your laptop and your desktop and your server, but does your company have handheld devices, for example, like point of sale devices? That might have Java in it. Does your company produce software that embeds Java and sells it? Because you might need a license for every version you sell or every copy you sell. Know your alternatives. Will one of these work for you? You might get real lucky and you may be able to swap this out quick and easy, but we don't find that's the case most of the time. So, if you're maybe a Microsoft shop, you're an IBM shop, and go take a look at one of those alternatives and all the other ones too, and see if one of them suits your needs. But most of all, most of all, get expert help. Don't try to do this for the first time on your own. Don't risk your own career. Don't risk your job. Don't risk your company's bottom line by trying to DIY your way through this. It's super complex. It's easy to get wrong. And it's also easy to spend money you don't even need to spend. We find a lot of clients actually have Java licenses for a lot of stuff already because they already purchased Oracle products. They don't need more. They don't need a duplicate license for a product that already came with a license. It's tough to tell. Sometimes people think that the Java license they have count for this one product counts for all products they have. It does not. So again, like Miro, yes, get that expert help. Find out if you have the correct versions, if the versions you think you do, what your options are. And with that, I really want to open it to questions. We tried to leave a lot of extra time here, not a lot, but we left enough. So let me run through a few of these. And again, Miro team, if you want to type me an answer as I read it. Okay. If your organization does not allow Oracle Java, you have a scanner that searches for and deletes it. Oracle is asking for a report and it shows clear. Are you safe? They can see downloads, which we delete immediately. I would never say you're safe. I would say you might be. I will let my team toss any more answers into that, but I would really not just assume that that alone is going to save you. Because number one, your tool may not get access to everywhere Java is. That's one of the biggest problems we find with tools is that they come back with an all clear warning, and their all clear warning is a false negative because they couldn't access someplace, a firewall or a company policy, or simply the machine just wasn't told to look there. We have found companies who have entire server farms they forgot about. So I would not assume you're safe because it's not a perfect world out there. But that's definitely a great start, but again, I would not absolutely say so. Okay. Somebody's asking about a very specific version here. How about 1.6.75? We have that for R12 Oracle apps. I'm Waiting for an answer for that. Let me see if I've got any others I can go over, and I'll get back to you, Mr. 1675. A couple of the other questions. I got some handy, some people in the audience were telling me it was the per month number. Thank you again, audience. I just slipped my mind there which one I was looking at. Okay. In terms of contractors and consultants, does that only include knowledge workers that we treat as an employee in terms of accounts? What about people who have set up with external AD accounts, such as Access, SharePoint, Online DevOps? What about anonymous types of contractors, such as maintenance workers? I would say everyone. It's most likely everyone. I'll read here what my team here gave as the answer. It is same thing we had it before. Your full-time, part-time, temporary, all of the full-time employees, part-time employees, and temporary employees of your agents, contractors, outsourcers, and consultants that support your internal business operations. The quantity of licenses required determined by the number of employees and not just the number of employees that use the program. Again, like I said earlier, it doesn't matter if they even use a computer. Just give me 1 second here. I'll go back here. I'm going to go back to the beginning here. So that is essentially it. It's per employee. We had a question that was, does Oracle still have billable and non-billable versions of Java? And the answer is yes. We will give them to you. We'll send you this, which is the billable, non-billable versions. We'll give you that chart we went over earlier. All right, can you comment on the Java commercial features? As I understand it, even if you have version 8.202 or earlier, but have a commercial feature turned on, you must pay Oracle. And that is correct. If you do have a commercial feature, I don't have a list of what those are in front of me, but if you have one of those turned on, you do need a license, even if you have the older version. Another question, it is my understanding the current rules that Java 17 will not be free 1 year after version 21 is released. Again, my team is telling me that is correct. 1 year after 21 is released, 17 will transition from no fee terms and conditions agreement to a standard OTN agreement with non-licensable exceptions for personal or development use. Again, if you guys remember in that chart, I said 17 was free for now. So that's essentially the answer to that question. If we are only running freeware release versions of Java, such as Java U172, are we subject to converting our non-licensable freewares to employee metric subscriptions? The answer is no. You do not have to sign up for an employee contract, assuming you actually do not have any licensable versions. I could tell you basically everyone we talked to who didn't think they had licensable versions ended up having them, where we have come in and looked, simply because it is just so pervasive. And apparently there's quite a few. I missed a few. I only listed the major Java forks, the alternative versions. There are others out there. One of them, those other versions I did not mention, might be perfect for you. I don't know. I'm not an expert in any of those things, so definitely look into them. Next question is, we have moved to OpenJDK, but still have cleanup to do on removing Oracle Java. Does having Java installed on a server but not actively being used count in the Oracle Java audit? And my team member's answer here is, there is an urban myth that I totally believe that Oracle leaves residue. A good way to determine this is after you remove Java from Oracle, run a scan to see if that server shows up. To the gentleman earlier who requested information about version 1675, the answer is Oracle applications are either written in Java or use it per Oracle doc. I'm not going to read the number. The version of Java that accompanies the application does not require additional licensing. However, it comes with the constraint that the instance can only be used with the Oracle application. That's what I said earlier in terms of just because you have a Java license that came with one program doesn't mean it counts for another. All right. Next one is, if we have, I'm not going to say how many employees, let's say many thousands of employees, but only, let's call it 10% use Java. Can we purchase that 10% worth of licenses, or do we need to purchase it for all employees? And the answer is all employees, whether or not they use Java, whether or not they even use a computer. Does Oracle database grant rights to use Java? And the answer is per the OTN license agreement, which governs releases 8 through 16, not after, but 8 through 16. Oracle does, yes, grant your organization a right to use for personal use, development use with Oracle applications. Again, keyword with Oracle applications. I got another question here. We got time for like one more if anybody is on the fence here. I'm going to run through the rest of them. Do paid Java versions that reside on non-production servers require user licensing under the new plan? Well, the new plan is that if you're using any Java at all of your employees, contractors, et cetera, need it. So if you are using any Java licensable version anywhere for anything that you that you would need to buy a license for, all your employees need a license. Let's see, do we have any others? Are we allowed to use Oracle OS, which is, he's saying Oracle Solaris, Oracle Linux, Java. It came with the OS to start the Java applications. Team, if you want to give me an answer on that one, I think it is yes for now. If it is not, I ask that you give me a quick chat to tell me I'm wrong, but I'm going to say yes. If we already have subscriptions of CPU and named users, do we continue with these metrics or will they be phased out? I believe you will be good. I believe you will be all right. If you've already purchased it, then you, like I said earlier, if you already have, then you are good. You don't need to go buy it going forward. Your processor licenses will be honored by Oracle. Again, team, let me know if I got that wrong. Any constraints with using the Java included in Solaris? Again, I think that's only going to cover you for the use of Solaris. If I get a different answer, we'll definitely get back to you and let you know. When did Oracle start requiring Java licenses for WebLogic and in-house developed apps? I believe it's 2019 is when they technically announced it. They didn't enforce it heavily at the time, but it would be, that's when they made the announcement that Java needed to be licensed. If employees are on long-term leave, disability, or parental leave for 6 months, are they considered active users? I would say yes. If they're still your employees, they are still, if they're still on your books as your employee, then Oracle's opinion is probably going to be that they need a Java license. Hopefully the baby doesn't need a Java license. All right, Ignition development program comes with a Java bundled. Would that need to be licensed separately? Again, I think we're falling into that. If the program you purchased came with Java, it had a Java license included by default for only the use of that program. An Oracle rep told me last year that Java is being used for development of systems that were free until the system went live. Is this true? My team is giving me an answer right now. So if you will just give me a moment on that one, I will definitely give you that. Let me give you a couple quick updates here for some of them. Yes, so definitely a couple confirm here. My team got back to me. If you already have a subscription, you're good. Oracle has stated that current holders of Java licenses can renew them, but expect there to be repercussions. Great. And the answer for the last question we had was, an Oracle rep told me last year Java is being used for development systems that were free. Is this true? And the answer is, it is true for old metrics, NUP and CPU, but not employee. And if that is it, if you got a question, this is the end. This is the last chance you're going to get to, at least during this promotion. You can always contact us afterward. We would love to talk to you. Again, don't go it alone. Even if you don't hire us, get somebody who's done this many times to help you. The last thing you ever want to do is try to DIY it, think you're all in the clear, and then you find out you're not, and you owe millions of dollars, and you don't want that. So if you would like to contact us, if you had a question we didn't get a chance to answer, if you had a question that was complex and you didn't want to put it on the webinar, if you just want someone to talk to about this, give us a call. Or email us, or find us on the web at miroconsulting.com. Email us at info@miroconsulting.com, or call us at 732-738-8511, extension 1208. And in the next 24 hours or so, we are going to send you a link to the recording. We are going to send you a PDF with all of the charts of information. And if there's anything else we can do, please let us know. So that is it for the presentation. Again, I thank everyone for being here and giving us your time today. That is the conclusion. Call us if you need us. Have a great day.